All right. Hello and welcome to the show, everyone. I am Preston Poole. That is Tyler Adams. This is Unadvised here on the Sports Animal YouTube, Facebook, and our very own X account at Unadvised Pod. Follow us at Tyler's Takes, at Preston Poole 405. Not live today. We were recording this at 11 a.m., but this will be out today as we've got Cowboys-Eagles tonight in Philadelphia. We've got a big weekend of college football here in the state with Michigan coming into town to take on the Sooners and the Cowboys heading out to Eugene to take on the Ducks. I know you're pretty excited about that one, T-Bag.
Can't wait. Preston, I just can't wait. I seriously, if kickoff could be here right now, I would take it so we could just rip the Band-Aid.
Yes, I don't think that's going to go the way a lot of Cowboy fans would like it to go, but we're still going to talk about it, talk about the NFL games going on, and also that story in the NBA that Pablo Torre broke yesterday. There's been a little bit more news this morning. We'll get into that as well later in the show, but let's start off, since we didn't get to do a recap of this last weekend. Your thoughts on the Oklahoma State game that happened this past weekend, just briefly before we move on to OU and then this week.
Yeah, I started getting delusional thoughts in the first quarter watching Haas Haney play quarterback. If he was the quarterback this weekend, we'll talk about it. I would be pretty irrational on this show, Preston. Defense much improved, still a lot to work to do there. I'm still where I was before the season started. I think they're about a middle of the road defense, which is massively improved from where they were last year. Wendell Gregory, Malik Charles, the two transfers I've been high on, they looked really good showing out. Offensive line, not good. Run game, not good. A lot of work to be done, but I'm not going to go pessimistic yet.
At like halftime of that game, because I got home probably like when the first quarter was ending. I sit down. It's already on the TV because my roommate was watching, and I look up and I'm like, who is that blonde-haired guy that's playing quarterback? And it was none other than Zane Flores, who we now can confirm is not AI. He is a real person.
He is real. I saw him with my own two eyes play quarterback. That wasn't the TV deceiving you. It happened. It finally happened. We saw Zane Flores play quarterback.
Yes, it only took 3 years, but it finally happened. He played quarterback for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Oklahoma, they beat up. I guess we could say they beat up. I mean, they probably could have beat up more on Illinois State this last week. In 35-3, the final score. The run game was terrible. The offensive line play was not good. Those are all things that need to improve before this game on Saturday against the Wolverines, because you're gonna have to be able to run the ball there. Other than that, receivers I thought were good. Quarterback play, obviously. I mean, look, Oklahoma has another quarterback. Shocker. Right. It seems to be a quarterback factory there in Norman. John Mateer, I thought, played good. Made a couple of bad decisions. If you look back on the tape, he had some guys like, running wide open for touchdowns at points in the game. But it is game one, with a new group of guys. So those are things that I think could probably be worked out later down the line. Biggest issue, though, was the offensive line. Yet again, another year, they just couldn't run the ball.
And if Michigan's going to beat Oklahoma this Saturday, it's going to be because the offensive line, they weren't able to establish a run game. I know we're about to break down the game. I like OU in this game. I think they're just top to bottom the better team. But, I mean, we saw it last year. Michigan did it to Ohio State. If they're able just to run the ball down their OU's throat, which I don't think they're going to be able to where it's going to, just Michigan's going to be able to just bully ball them on, when OU's on defense, they're playing offense, because I think OU's front seven and defense is just really good. Yeah. But on the other end, if Michigan is able to stop the run game for the Sooners and make Mateer pass, I think Mateer's going to be able to get a lot done. But if you know that OU can't run the ball and they're going to be passing, that's just going to slow any quarterback down.
Yeah. I mean, you just drop more guys back in coverage and stuff like that, and you say, all right, if you're not going to run the ball, just then try and throw it. But we're going to put a lot more guys in coverage. I might be alone in thinking this, but I thought the run defense from Oklahoma wasn't great.
It had moments where it wasn't great.
Illinois State was able to break off, a couple runs here and there, which in the grand scheme of things, they only ran for like 120 yards or something like that. It's not like an incredible amount of rushing yards, but there were plays where they were able to pick up, 15 yards or something on a run. And Oklahoma wasn't doing that. I think their longest run might have been like 12 yards or something like that. So something that needs to improve before Saturday. All right, let's get into week 2. As we mentioned, Oklahoma State travels up to Eugene, Oregon to take on the Ducks. The Ducks are 28.5 point favorites right now. And T-Bag, the only thing that I have on here as notes to talk about this game, I put just try to go up there and not get your ass absolutely kicked.
So we spent some time this morning on the Morning Animals talking about this, and I think most OSU fans, from what I read from the text line, even a lot of OU fans, I get where you're coming from on this one. Number one, 28.5. I'm not saying is a bad line, but if you're like, oh, lock OSU, 45-17 isn't 28.5. All right. And that's a blowout. That's a never a doubt blowout, 45-17. That's Oregon still not covering. So if you're like, OSU is just a total lot, or Oregon's a total lot this week, remember how many points 28 points is. All right. Not saying that Oregon can't cover. They can. If I had to make a bet, I would bet OSU just solely based on 28 points is so many. But we were talking on the morning show this morning about, just how if OSU just gets drilled, how much it's just going to suck. And, when the clock hit, if OSU does lose 45-17, like I said, when the clock hits 0, I'm not going to lose sleep. I'm going to be frustrated. And I'll be like, hey, you can't carry this into Big 12 play.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But I was saying the worst case scenario for a loss. Now, in the long term, it's the best case scenario for a loss. Going into the Tulsa game, bye week, then Tulsa, then conference play begins. So long term, this is a good thing. But in the short term, Preston, and I think you'll agree with me on this one. Again, the olds on the Morning Animals were like, oh, yeah. But I think most people understood what I was trying to say this morning. The way that I'm going to be sick to my stomach if OSU loses this game is if they are down 3 with 3 minutes left and have the ball and don't score to win, or if they're up 3 with a minute and a half left, and then it's like the BYU game last year. BYU scored 19 seconds left or whatever it was to win the game. That's going to be where I'm gut wrenched, want to throw up, nauseated. Now on Sunday, I'd wake up that sucked. I don't ever want to relive that moment again. But to go into Austin Stadium and lose by 3 points when everyone was counting you out is a good sign going forward. And if they get blown out, if they lose 45-17, that's just a number I'm going to use. When the game ends, I'll be like, all right, what's up? Welcome to OSU Football Feedback. But on Sunday, I'll wake up feeling worse. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's one of those things you're going into the game expecting to lose because let's face it, Oregon is the better team in this scenario. They're playing at home.
Yes.
Yada yada yada. If it were to come
start.
Yeah, exactly. If it were to come down to a close game, that is very something like, oh, I didn't expect this. This is nice, but also this sucks because they had a chance to pull off a major upset.
Upset, just
it looks better down the line in Big 12 play and stuff like that.
I said the ideal situation is win the game or lose by 8.
Yeah.
That's the ideal situation.
Yeah.
Because if you lose by 8, you're still feeling confident going into Big 12. Hey,
hell, I would say even
we lost 32-24. All right. Take that.
10 to 14 points even. I'm like, okay, that's you kept it within 2 scores.
I said, win the game or lose between 8 points and 19 points. I can live with that because I guess 19 points. If OSU's down 26, they score a last-second touchdown. But if they're fighting a 10 to 14 point game, the whole game and lose by 19 or something, that's something I can live with. I was just saying, I've thought about how much it would suck if OSU had a chance to win the game or seal the game or something, and they blew it at the end. Just how gut-wrenching that would be. Because I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, I'm not going to be a gut wrench if they lose this game. I'll probably be mad. I'll be frustrated, but I'm not going to be gut wrench. And I kind of stopped myself. I could very much be gut wrench. Obviously, like I said, I'd wake up on Sunday confident, optimistic. All right, maybe this is an 8-4, 9-3 football team. Maybe they are. Maybe they're not, but I'd feel better. But yeah, in the moment, it would suck. So that, if you want to know where my head's at, my head's like, what ways to lose that wouldn't hurt. And I found myself pretty much just, if you lose by 8, 19 might be, this is 8-14.
Yeah.
That won't hurt. That'll be win the game. Yeah. Prefer to win the game.
That's option 1. Yeah.
You lose by 8-14. I'll go to bed peacefully on Saturday night, and I'll wake up peacefully Sunday morning. Yes, OSU lost. Yes, it's loser talk. I know, but long-term picture, all right, we can live with that. So that's where I'm at. That's my analysis of the game. That's where I'm at. Let's just see what happens, because it could get bad. Let's also not act like this one could get bad.
Yes, it could go sideways in a hurry if things aren't going the right way for the Cowboys, because I think Oregon's a decent squad this year. So are you nervous for Zane heading into his first start on the road? Because so far this season, quarterbacks making their first start on the road have not fared well.
Yeah, that's the thing. If Haas Haney was playing, Preston, this show would be pretty delusional about me. He'd be laughing at me. He'd be like, this guy's on. You know, did you smoke weed before the show or something? Like, you'd have a couple of beers. What's going on? Because if Haas Haney was playing, I'd be saying probably some stupid stuff right now. Zane, it's just, hey, let's just go out there. Let's get the experience. It's not going to get as hard as it is this week. All right, Zane, your first start is going to be the hardest start you have all season. For sure. It's going to be the hardest start you have all season. So we'll get it out of the way, improve along the game. And again, Zane, it was clear to me, if what we saw in game 1, it was clear that Haas was clearly the better quarterback. But let's not act like we haven't sat and heard around at practice for the last 2 seasons before this one, how good Zane Flores looks in practice and how beautiful his football is that he throws and all this stuff. And why me and you'd be like, is this guy AI generated? Why like last year he was hurt, I know, but like, why didn't he play before he was hurt? Or why didn't he play in 2023 during the 3 quarterback rotation dilemma and all this? So let's also, I'm trying to, put that back in, my reality as well. As like, hey, there was a moment in time where we thought Zane was going to be, the next Mason Rudolph. So I'm not expecting him to play like that this weekend, obviously, because first start in Autzen Stadium against a top 10 team in the country, it doesn't get much harder than that. It quite simply does not get much harder than that. So my expectations are low, but I want to see signs and I want to see moments and be like, okay, we can work with this. We can work with this.
No, I'm with you. Any update on Wendell Gregory?
He's playing. He is playing.
Okay. I saw him post the thing on his Instagram of the duck. That kind of made me assume that he was going to play, but obviously, if you haven't heard, dealing with some legal stuff.
Can we address this, Preston? Because one, if you would have listened to Jim Traber the other day, you would have thought he killed a guy. You would have thought that he brutally murdered someone. And Mike was like, no big deal. Who cares?
He's the ultimate for a reason.
He skipped. I'm not defending this, but I'm also not saying I'm not guilty of doing this at times. He skipped scanning some items at the self-checkout at Walmart. All right.
Yeah.
We talked about this with the Morning Animals, and everyone would like raise their hand, like, guilty. Not purposefully. Like, his was purposely with intent. But there have been times where, I'm scanning, a $12, laundry detergent, and it doesn't scan. It's already in the bag. I'm like, I'll forget about it. There's been, and I'm sure this is relatable to a lot of people. This is how the self-checkout game works now. Now, be careful, because now, as we see with Wendell Gregory, there's AI and there's cameras above you that's watching your every move. Yeah. This is more 2-3 years ago, kind of before the technology really advanced in all this. But that is not the worst crime I've ever heard in my life. It's
not
just
100%.
Not.
Yeah.
And I texted Jim the other day because he asked, did any of the weak OSU media even have the goal to ask about Wendell Gregory? Yes, they did, Jim. Yes, they did. Before you get angry, yes, they asked about him. And no one said he's going to play or not, but it's very much assumed he's going to play. And so I texted him, yes, they asked about it. And then I said, like, he started ranting, and I got triggered. And so I texted him, I was like, let's not act like that way worse crimes haven't been forgiven before where players have played. pretty much closely after a crime was
Yeah.
committed. And Jim's like, don't defend this, don't defend. And I made it clear. I was like, I'm not defending this. And I text him off the side. And then I made a statement as well the next morning on the Morning Animals. I'm making one here now. I am not defending this.
Yeah.
If he faces suspension, I would say, good. Can't do the crime, can't do the time, don't do the crime. But let's not act like college football coaches all of a sudden have lost their moral compass.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they're not going to favor their best players in questionable decisions. Let's just not sit there and start that. And I know it's a very small minority doing that. And I know even most OU fans, Texas fans, Baylor fans who would pick your poison and fans, Oregon fans are probably like, yeah, like most players would play under that circumstance. Let's just not act like that this is the most egregious crime ever and we cannot believe this guy isn't suspended or even kicked off the team.
Yeah.
Like he skipped self-checkout items at Walmart. All right, wrong.
Well, and
Could be suspended, but Jesus, guys, it is. We have domestic abusers playing college football.
Yeah. It would be pretty rich for an Oklahoma fan to speak up because we all remember what Joe Mixon did. He still played after a year suspension.
And it's really not even an OU fan. I haven't really seen OU fans say this. It's really just more like the ultimate. I've never heard bash someone in the heart of my life. I was shocked. I was dumbfounded. Jim was seriously, and he doesn't like Mike Gundy. It's very clear that Traber is not a Mike Gundy fan.
Yeah,
because he was also ripping him for lifting up his shirt in the press conference, which that's just Gundy being Gundy. If you care about that 2025, Gundy being Gundy, come on now.
I thought that was quite funny, actually.
Yeah, it's Gundy being Gundy. Win or lose, he's going to be Mike Gundy. That's if there's one thing we know about the guy. Win or lose, Mike Gundy is going to be Mike Gundy. He's never going to switch. That's why people love him, or that's why people hate him.
Yeah,
but it was just very clear that Jim just saw a route to slander Mike Gundy, and he took it. And then he used my word, acting like I'm, Mike Gundy's mouthpiece and all of this. Yeah. And all I'm saying is, I think you're being a little unfair right now. So I just wanted to let that rant out. I've been holding and bottling that one in. So thank you for letting me do that. We can move on from the Wendell Gregory situation.
Maybe one other person that Jim hates more than Mike Gundy would be Bill Belichick, because he was talking about Bill Belichick's man boobs the other day whenever I was producing a show. So that was quite the.
In what context? In what context?
The whole. He said, in what world does his girlfriend see him naked and think, I want a piece of that?
There is no world. It's the bank account world.
Did you? And then he said, did you see his man boobs on the sideline in that hoodie? And I said, yes, I did. I did see them. I did watch the game. So I did
okay. Also, and this is I've taken maybe a couple of jabs at Traber here. This isn't a jab at Traber. This is just a jab at anyone that does this. We can't man boob shame our coaches.
Yeah.
We cannot man boob shame our football coaches.
Yeah.
Fat football coach is what makes the world go round. All right.
Yeah.
If there's one criticism I have on Mike Gundy and Brent Venables, it's that they're in too good a shape.
Yeah. Yeah. Sam Pittman isn't walking through there. Yeah. All right, let's get into this Oklahoma game. Oklahoma hosts Michigan. Sooners are a 5.5-point favorite. This thing opened at 2.5 Saturday night, and then shot all the way up to 5.5. Said it earlier. Offensive line needs to play better. They're going to be getting some guys back. Fasusi and Simmons, they're 2 tackles. They should be getting those guys back this week. It seems like. We'll see if that helps. That's kind of why I'm not just dead set on the offensive line is going to be terrible all season long, right? We still might not even know that after the Michigan game, right? But if they're able to run for, 150, 200 yards against Michigan, then I think we can sit back and say, we can sit back and say, okay, this is going to at least be able to run the ball. I thought their pass protection was good, better than obviously their run protection. Running backs. Look, I don't know if this is a DeMarco Murray thing, if this is a Brent Venables thing, or even if this is an Arbuckle thing, right? But for guys that cover the team like George Stoya from Sooner Scoop, I heard him say this on the pregame show with Al and Jim the other day, is that Oklahoma wants a workhorse running back that gets the majority of the carries, yada, yada, yada. And I realize this is Illinois State that they played against, T-Bag. But it's like once the game started, they said, F that. Let's just see how many guys we can get out on the field to play running back today.
I mean, what Baylock? What's his first name? Tory Baylock.
Blaylock, yeah.
Blaylock. He was the best running back I saw. But then even then, they'd be like, all right, let's go back to Javante.
Yeah.
And then
in
the third quarter, Blaylock not in.
Yeah, Blaylock gets hurt, and they're like, okay, we have this guy that we paid, probably $1 million for to come in from Cal.
Second team all ACC or preseason all SEC.
Screw it. Let's go ahead and let's put in Xavier Robinson, which, by the way, was great the back half of the season last year. I don't mind him playing, right? But to sit here and say, okay, Jaden Ott is good enough to return kicks, but he's not good enough to get more than 2 snaps on offense is just absolutely insane to me. It is completely insane. And look, he very well could carry the ball 20 times on Saturday and, everything is over with and done with and say, okay, that's their workhorse running back. But for them to just come out and say this week, oh, he's getting close to 100% healthy. He's there. He should be good, blah, blah, blah. Then why was he returning kicks last weekend if he wasn't 100% healthy? Why was he out there for 2 plays? Why can't you just come out and say, hey, this guy's banged up. We're going to hold him out this week. He should be good to go next week.
Yeah, I don't know. Even Kerry Murdoch today when we were talking to him, he was like, I don't know. Like, I expect him to play. And it's like, if he doesn't play, there's going to be a riot, especially if OU loses and they still can't run the ball and Ott doesn't play a lot. There's going to be a riot among the fan base. Now, if they win, he doesn't play a lot. There's still going to be criticism, but there won't be quite a riot. But just no one seems to have an answer to it. My guess is just like, I've heard a couple times, from the station, from Kerry. I know Kale's kind of alluded to like hurt or injured. Are you hurt or injured? So I'm starting to wonder, like, is the OU staff were they just kind of sending a message with that depth chart in the first game? Be like, dude, like, we get you're beat up, but everyone's beat up, because he obviously hasn't practiced. We know that for a fact. He hasn't practiced a lot. And to me, it's kind of starting to, you kind of put all the tea leaves together. To me, it's starting to kind of sound like it's like the OU staff may didn't disagree with him not practicing a whole, in the degree he didn't. Like, he was kind of being exaggerated about it.
I get that, but if he's your best player, I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is against Illinois State, it's like, all right, you can send a message against Illinois State. But if that happens this weekend, you just got to, it's going to, like I said, it's going to be a riot. It's going to be a riot. I might drive down to Norman and join. Like, what the hell?
Maybe he's turning into the AI running back. Even though we did see him for a 3-yard loss.
Or was that a jersey switch? Are we for sure?
Yeah, that's true. We'll never know. We'll never know. They'll never tell their secrets. I thought the receivers played good last weekend. I really liked was it Keontae Lewis that got 2 touchdowns for Oklahoma. Deion Burks made a couple of great plays. He had a touchdown as well. So I think the receivers are going to be fine. Everyone was worried, like, oh, these guys were playing at East Popcorn State last year. It's kind of like the Terrell Davis at Oklahoma State. If you know football, if you can play football, you're going to be able. If you can catch a football, you're going to be good at any level. So I think the receivers will be fine. Defense looked good. Did struggle against the run, and that's going to be an issue, I think, going up against Michigan if you're going to allow them to get those 10 to 15-yard carries to extend drives. I mean, say they have a third and 10. Do you really think Michigan trusts a freshman quarterback on the road to go out and, pick up 10 yards? It's just say in the second quarter, right? No, they're probably going to hand the ball off to the running back. And if they're able to get 10 yards not every carry, because they're not going to run for 10 yards a carry on this defense, I don't think. At least you would hope not, right? But I would like to see that shirt up just a little bit.
The OU's defensive line is the key for me in this game. I mean,
yes.
I think we know what we're going to get from Mateer. I think we know what we'll get from like wide receivers. Obviously, we just talked about offensive line and running back question mark. The defense we know is good, but the defensive line is the key for me in this game because if they can stop Michigan's run game, OU is going to have a damn good chance to win this game.
This needs to be an R. Mason Thomas like statement game.
Yeah. And I say win it comfortably. I don't mean OU's just gonna if the defensive line shows up that they're gonna win this game, 34-10. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if OU's defensive line shows up and Michigan can't run the football, OU can win this game 24-10.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be that big, but so that's the key to me is OU's defensive line because Michigan's defensive line is going to win the battle between Michigan's defensive line and OU's offensive line. So you can't afford for your defensive line to lose the battle. Defensive line is definitely the key in this. Rotating guys in and out, staying fresh legs, getting off the field and stopping the run is the key for me because, like you said, what we've seen around the country with these quarterbacks making their first starts on the road, it doesn't go good. And Bryce Underwood, I think, is going to be a really good quarterback. Every guy we talked to, Kale was on today. Darren Orlovsky has gone off about him. A lot of people have been like, this guy looks good. Like I know it's New Mexico, but this guy looks really good. Yeah. Which is, I'm sure he's going to be great. But to go on the road to Norman, Oklahoma in week 2 against that defense, where Brent Venables has made Tua look human when he was in college.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the easiest ask. So it's going to come down to OU's defensive line.
Well, even you go back and you look at like Jackson Dart last year at Ole Miss, he didn't have necessarily that wasn't like a great game by Ole Miss offensively. Obviously Jalen Milroe got put in a blender against the defense. Trying to think of other guys.
We thought Nico kind of got put in a blender.
It turns out Nico's just ass sucks, anyways. Yeah. So
me or you could have coached that defense.
My last point in this game is make Bryce Underwood's life hell on Saturday.
Yeah.
Send every type of exotic blitz that you can at him and just, confuse the hell out of him and see if you can't get a couple of turnovers or something like that. The thing is, if Oklahoma somehow ends up blowing Michigan out, the vibes from Norman will be unbearable. And look, I grew up an Oklahoma fan. I am an Oklahoma fan, but I know if Oklahoma goes out there and beats the hell out of Michigan,
you just had to put that in my mind, Preston.
Yeah, the vibes in Norman will be sky high, and you will see that on social media.
I made the joke today, and I don't think they really got kind of what I was saying. I said if OSU gets blown out on Saturday, I'll be done with the post-game show probably around the second quarter halftime of the Michigan game. I'll be home. I'm going to sit down and watch it. I was joking that I'm going to come home, put on my wife beater, smoke cigarettes inside, and just be throwing beer bottles at the TV. It'll be like the end of Dodgeball where what's his name's character gets all fat and
Ben
stuff.
Stiller,
yeah. That's me. I'm gonna see like OU fans cheering and stuff. Like, you guys have fun. College football's so fun, isn't it? That's what a live representation of me is gonna be.
We'll see.
I'll be in pure hell, and you guys will be all ecstasy. And it's not even like I'm just like preying on OU's downfall, hate watching. And it's like no, it's just like I don't want to see you be happy while I'm miserable, Preston.
No, I get that 100%. Yeah, no, I look.
Just like if OSU wins and OU loses, you're like, God damn it, why is T-Back so happy right now? And I'm just
exactly
miserable.
100%. No, I completely get that. And then the complete opposite of that is if Oklahoma loses, then it's burn everything down, fire everyone. Another 6-6 season incoming. I mean, it's going to be a lot of Frank the Tanks around Norman.
Probably around the entire state because I don't think OSU is going to win either. So it's going to be like you're going to hear a lot of people in both Crimson and Orange just going, "Well, Thunder starts in 7 weeks."
Yeah, basketball season just around the corner. Yeah,
transfer almost back, baby.
I keep going back and forth. I really like Michigan plus 5.5 because I think it is going to be.
I'm staying away. I can't decide.
I'm not going to bet on this, but if if you had to put a gun to my head and say, "Hey, make a bet on this game," I would probably take Michigan plus 5.5, just because I think it's going to be a very close game. I think Oklahoma probably wins by like a field goal or so. But but I think that this game is a toss up for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, man. I think
I've been burned too many damn times the last 3 years, Teabag, for me to just be like, yeah, Oklahoma's going to go out and they're going to win this game by 10 points.
Yeah, and I get that. That's why I'm staying away though, because like I can see OU winning this game 24-20. I can see OU winning this game 31-17. I can see Michigan winning this game outright.
Yeah.
Like I just don't know. Like there's still just so many unknowns with this Oklahoma team. Like I saw a tweet yesterday in the AP poll, college football Reddit account on Twitter, they put out like every voter's AP poll. And it was like, how good is Oklahoma? Oklahoma is ranked at like every spot, almost every spot. I think like number 7 and number 10 or something that they don't have a vote at. But then a voter put in number 6, like number 9, number 11, number 12, all the way down to 25. And then you had a few voters who had them not ranked. So it's like, how good? Yeah. Like we still don't know how good this team is. Obviously, we think they're improved from last year just based off John Mateer alone. Like, like we definitely, the defense is a step better than what they were last year. So we think they're going to be. You can't really tell against Illinois State. And we think the offense will just be better just by having competency. Even if the offensive line isn't great, it's going to be competent this year. But we still just don't know anything about this team. We're going to find out. Same with Michigan. We don't really know about Michigan a whole lot yet. But so we're going to find out on Saturday. I'm stoked. Like I'm genuinely really excited for this game just to see, like what both teams kind of have.
No other really big games in week 2. Honestly, it's kind of a ho-hum week. But here I ask you this question: is Alabama mortal again? Can Alabama be killed?
Oh yeah. If Alabama was coming to Stillwater instead of the Ducks Oklahoma State going to play the Ducks in Eugene, I'd feel a lot better right now if like Alabama was coming to Stillwater, or even if Pogues were going to Alabama. I'd feel better, which is crazy to say, but I would.
I'm with you. That was a tough watch the other day. All right, let's move on to the National Football League, the NFL, as we have a game tonight. The Cowboys at the Eagles tonight. Eagles 8.5-point favorites at home. Excuse me. It's banner night in Philadelphia. The Lynx should be rocking up there. This feels like 8.5 is a massive line in the NFL. So I would stay away from it because I don't like lines that big. And when it comes to the NFL,
I'm not touching.
But this screams Eagles by like 1 million.
Yeah, I kind of like the over in it. I was looking at it earlier. Gosh, what's the number? I'll pull it up right now. I kind of like the over in this because I think Cowboys are going to have a really good offense. Now their defense is, but I think the Cowboys it's 48.
Yeah, 48.
Which I think that's a good number. I mean, like if you talk about taking the over, the only reason I hesitate on taking the over in this one is just because it always feels like the first game of any football season never hits the over. Like the first weekend, like is more of an under than over weekend. Like we saw last week in college football, a lot of unders hit last week, especially in all the big games. A lot of the unders hit.
Oh, trust me, as someone who only bets the over, it was not a good weekend for me.
And I took the under in one game, and out of shame, and it was Miami Notre Dame game, and it hit by like 0.5 point. So I was like, awesome, great. But so I like the over in that, but the line I agree because it just feels like the Eagles will mollywop them. But 8.5 is just so many points for the NFL. If you are looking for some plays to make tonight, I do like Dak kind of taking his overs just because they're going to be playing from behind and they're going to have to throw the ball a lot. So
I've made a parlay for this evening that I will share. CeeDee Lamb to score a touchdown.
Like it.
Jalen Hurts to either rush or receive a touchdown. So I'm banking on him getting a tush push into the end zone.
Yep.
And I took this one just because it was like a deal in here. Dak half a passing yard, over half a passing yard. So
that's a tough one.
Yeah, we'll see if he can get an yard passing tonight. So
you think he can get 1 yard passing in the NFL?
Surely,
not a screen. It can't be a screen. So let's
a quick slant over the middle, maybe.
Yeah, a screen you definitely could.
But you're also a screen pass. If you're going to like a running back on a screen pass, you're having that defensive line barreling down at you. Like, are you 100%?
Well, I'm talking about more like the Mike Gundy special,
And throw it.
straight. Yeah, just
No,
straight right there.
that's a pick six 10 times
Yeah.
out of 10. That's a pick six.
That
I
ball's going
think your
10 miles
best
an hour.
shot is like a quick little, like maybe tight end slant right down the line of scrimmage, and he falls forward.
Or if you have like Jamar Chase, who's like, screw it, Jamar down there somewhere.
Yeah, Jamar, just run as fast as you can. I'm going to throw it as far as I can.
Yeah, but stop at like 30 yards because that ball's not going for the 30 yards.
If I could hold an NFL football, those things are massive, dude. All right, so I think we're both on the Eagles tonight in that one. You can watch that. It's on NBC and Peacock. So
tomorrow's game's on YouTube.
My Chargers playing on YouTube 7:00. Chargers and the Chiefs in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Kansas City, a 3.5-point favorite in that one. If you remember that this was the game last year where the field was like an ice skating rink. So I'm assuming it's going to be the exact same this year as well. But there were a lot of points last year, and the total right now is 46.5. So maybe that is a bet the over in that game, because there were a ton of points in this game last year in Sao Paulo between the Eagles and the Packers.
Yeah, because you had defensive guys slipping too. So yeah. Ooh, 46.5, Preston, you don't say.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. that. We're about to lose a lot of money this week.
I'm telling you, I've loaded up all my apps. I'm ready to go.
Yesterday I was sitting on the John, and I just went and placed like 7 over-unders in the NFL.
Yes. I can't wait to just sit on my couch Sunday and do absolutely nothing. By the way, Sunday around 5:30 or 6, we're going to go live to talk about every game in the NFL. Kind of just depends how the afternoon games are going. If they're close, we'll wait till 6. If they're kind of blowouts, we'll just go live at 5:30 and talk about those. But that'll be happening this weekend. Bucks Falcons. This is a game that'll be on here in Oklahoma City. Tampa Bay, 1.5-point favorite. I like the Buccaneers. The Falcons, they'll be starting Billy Bowman at one of their say safety, but more like a defensive back, like a slot cornerback, somewhere like that. He'll be starting, but we'll see about the Falcons. I'm kind of wait and see on Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah, same here. It's an interesting game, but yeah, I like the Bucs. The intriguing part is definitely seeing Michael Penix, and see, he got some starts last year, but now it's his team, and Zach Robinson, year 2, offensive coordinator, Raheem Morris, year 2, head coach. So that's definitely going to be the interesting part of that one.
How about this one? And we're not going to talk about every single game on the slate Sunday, but if the Eagles and Cowboys has the Eagles as an 8.5-point favorite, why the hell are the Bengals only a 5.5-point favorite against the Browns?
Because the Browns own the Bengals, number 1.
Okay, true.
And Joe Burrow. And number 2, the Bengals I was looking at this line earlier, Preston, and I was asking myself the exact same questions, and I came up with the answers. And number 2, the Bengals always just start slow in the regular season.
True. I mean, they started 0-3 last year, 0-4.
I think Joe Burrow's like 0-10 in his first 2 games as a starter. Like he's never won like a week 1 or week 2 game.
I'm glad you told me that. That is very interesting. Some other local flair: the Cardinals taking on the Saints. Cardinals 6.5-point favorites there.
Yuck.
That going to be played in New Orleans. I'm working on a strategy this year for fantasy football, and that is I will be picking up whatever defense plays against the New Orleans Saints every week.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people are going to have that strategy soon.
Yes.
Make sure to get to it right when the waivers open on Tuesday.
So I will be starting the Cardinals defense this week. Not that I think they're going to be like a good defense, but the Saints are going to be terrible offensively. So the Giants and Commanders a 6.5-point favorite there. That's a divisional game to start the season off. That one to be played in Maryland. Home game for the Commanders. Oh, let's see what else we got here. Lions and Packers. That'll be a good one. The Packers are 1.5-point favorites in that one. And then how about just a great Sunday night game between the Ravens and the Bills? We start the season off with a massive.
That's the final. We're back. Like that's the football is back. We're so back. All of that stuff. we still have all weekend because last week when we were back, college football was back. This weekend we're back because everything's back. The Sunday night football, hearing that NBC theme, Collinsworth and Tirico, and seeing the Bills Mafia hosting Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. That's the final. We're so back, baby, of the season.
And this could be an AFC Championship game preview.
Yeah, that's an awesome. That's take the over no matter what, just for fun. Just for America.
50.5 is what I have.
Have it at 70 for all I care.
By the way, the Bills are 1.5 point favorites. And then your Bears hosting the Vikings on Monday Night Football. Minnesota right now, 1.5 point favorites.
It's very mean that they gave Caleb Williams in the biggest year possible week 1 Monday Night Football. Because I'm already scared.
The good thing is
he sucks.
If the rookie / first time starting quarterback in college football and the NFL work any of the same way, JJ McCarthy's not going to be any good in this game.
True.
Because it's a first start on the road in Chicago against the Bears. And of course, I think both of us expect the Bears to be improved from last season with the addition of Ben Johnson there as head coach.
Caleb has everything he needs now. I mean, he's got a good offensive line. Not great, but good. Really good interior offensive line. He's got a competent head coach. He's got weapons. It's up to Caleb.
Go out and do it. I do need a big year from DeAndre Swift, so I need him to step up and run the ball well. So if you could relay that for me.
Yeah, I'll send a message to my guys.
Okay, cool, sweet.
My guys up at HQ.
Yeah. All right, last topic in the NBA. So Pablo Torre broke this story yesterday saying that the Clippers owner Steve Ballmer basically paid Kawhi $28.5 million through a business that he invested in that was also a sponsor for the team. That business, Aspiration, did a deal with Kawhi that paid him, I don't know, it was like $7 million or something like that a year as long as he was on the Clippers. Once he left the Clippers, that deal was done. No longer. That company has since been filed bankruptcy, investigated. The owners have been charged with fraud and stuff like that. Well, it turns out, T-Bag, this morning, this story is from the Boston Sports Journal. I had to look this up. So I was like, is the Boston Sports Journal a real thing? It is a real thing. I can confirm that. You can even get a subscription to it if you would like. Turns out, though, that Ballmer invested $50 million total in this company, right? Well, the more digging they did, they realized that Kawhi had 2 deals with this Aspiration company where those 2 deals combined paid Kawhi Leonard $48 million, which is convenient that Ballmer invested $50 million into this company.
There's NIL in pro sports now. If Ballmer's doing it, Jerry freaking Jones, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah. You can't invest in Dr. Pepper or something and have them pay him a little bit.
I just don't know how. You. I lost my train of thought there.
And this is the richest guy in the NBA.
My brain
no, you're
just
good.
cried out on me right there.
I had this conversation with a friend yesterday. He's like, "Well, what do you think's going to happen to him?" And I said, "Nothing. Nothing is going to happen to him."
That's where I was going because I was like, I had a point. I don't know what's going to happen with Steve Ballmer because I could see a world where the NBA puts down the hammer, but I don't think that's going to happen because it's Steve Ballmer.
They're just going to let it roll off.
Richest guy in the world.
Yeah. They're not going to punish the richest owner. They're not going to punish the richest guy in the league for.
They'll fine him
for this.
They'll give him a good hefty fine. I mean, it's the second round draft pick. Bye, but that's about it.
Yeah. Now Kawhi, I can see him facing no punishment at all. Let's suspend Kawhi for 10 games. He's going to miss 10 games anyways. He's going to miss half the season anyways.
I was planning on being hurt then anyway. So
this just seems like it is a very big story because it's the last time this happened was with the Minnesota Timberwolves. They ended up getting fined and lost 4 first-round picks. Well, how are you going to take away first-round picks from the Clippers when they don't have any? Right? They're all with Oklahoma City, or Oklahoma City has traded them elsewhere. So I mean, the best case scenario is Ballmer gets fined $1 billion. and they take away like all the Clippers first round picks to like 2050. And the Clippers just
2050,
2040, something like that. Because they don't have any for like the next 10 years anyways. And then the Clippers are terrible, and the Thunder keep getting very high draft picks.
So you could have had Shea.
Yeah.
You didn't have to pay the tree money. You did not have to pay the tree money. This was a choice, Steve Ballmer.
Which is just, and by the way, the Clippers put out a statement saying like, basically, you can just put this on there. Are you serious? Why would we ever do that? We never did that. I can't believe you thought that we did that. Is basically their statement that they put out.
We would never.
Yeah.
Steve Ballmer is a man of moral and integrity.
Exactly. They were like, those guys were bad people. We're not bad people. I can't believe you would think we're bad people. We would never do something like this. Is basically what the Clippers said. And they had no mention of Kawhi, so they're basically throwing Kawhi out there to take all the heat. So yeah,
I'm sure he appreciates that.
Yeah. All right, you
Kawhi's
guys.
kind of a shady guy.
Yeah.
And look, I'm gonna go there. I was about to say I don't want to go there, but I'm gonna go there. Look, I'm not one. We all have messed up family members somewhere, whether that's close or cousin or whatever.
Yeah.
We all have family members that embarrass us. We all have family members that make mistakes. And you cannot hold someone accountable for something that their family member did. But Kawhi's sister is in jail for like brutal murder.
Well, and his uncle was asking for all this extra stuff when he went to the Clippers and all that stuff. So it's
there's other stuff that's come out about his family. It's kind of shady. And then Kawhi's just super quiet. We're like, at first it was funny, and now it's like,
did you see the video of him?
Why are you so quiet?
The video of Kawhi at a strip club getting a lap dance, and he's just blankly staring off into nothingness. No,
but I saw a GIF yesterday of something that was similar to that, and I didn't like it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but it threw me off.
I might know what you're talking about. I'd have to see it, but yeah.
There's a guy sitting on a couch. There's a guy sitting on a couch looking like what was happening to him was not pleasant, but he was indifferent about it. And most guys wouldn't be feeling like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the same thing. Yes. It's the exact same thing.
I saw that GIF yesterday. I was like, why is this going to be part of our timeline now? Why is this here?
Very odd. Very odd. This whole situation is very odd. So we'll see if there's anything more that comes out of this. But Pablo Torre breaking the Sam Presti rap album and Kawhi Leonard being paid under the table in the NBA.
Sam Presti's like, woo, that's all. All right, I've got my Sam Presti made it through the top Pablo Torre experience. It's looking funny and cool.
Yeah. So, all right, you got anything else?
One last thing, Press. We haven't mentioned it in a while. We kind of brought it up a little earlier on in the show. Just don't forget that the Thunder did win the championship, the World Championship.
They did, yes.
Yeah, we thought we had to mention that.
Media Day, I can confirm, will be September the 29th. And practice or fall camp, whatever you want to call it, opens the day after that. So
hopefully me and Preston will have some more content of a casting couch with the Thunder.
I'm almost positive to say we will be at Media Day. Just what kind of access we get has been undetermined at the moment.
Do we know where it is? We can talk about that off air.
I don't know just yet. I know Matt Pinto said on his show last night it was September 29th was Media Day. Other than that, I know none of the details.
Good stuff.
All right, that's gonna do it for us. We'll be back Sunday evening to talk football with you guys. We'll recap both games from Saturday, and then we'll recap all the NFL games from Sunday. Can't wait! A whole weekend full of football. Remember, make sure to watch football tonight. Tomorrow you can go out to high school football here in the state of Oklahoma.
You watch live football in the state.
Yes, you can do it all. All right, that's gonna do it for us. Until next time, have a good one, everyone.